Hi, Cancer. Welcome to your July 2018 tarot reading. We have a Celtic cross spread in front of us. It's usually a 10 card spread, but you did get a few extra cards that came up, so there's a lot of messages to get to. And I pulled an oracle card as usual. At first glance, this looks like this is probably pertaining to career for most of you, possibly higher education, but we'll see as we go along. So let's start with the first card. So the main situation, we have the moon. Now, the moon is actually the ruler of your sign, and it's going to be quite active this month. The time I'm recording this, there's a full moon coming up in your opposite sign on the 27th of June. Then there's going to be a new moon, partial solar eclipse around the 12th of July. And then there's actually going to be a full moon lunar eclipse at the end of the month in your 8th house of Aquarius. So a lot of stuff going on with the moon. So there's many different angles to look at it from there. Just thinking of the moon in general, what I like to say to people is that it's not so much about deception, it's just that you have to feel things out a little bit more. Kind of like when you wake up in a room you're not familiar with in the middle of the night and it's dark, right? You might start feeling around to make sure you don't stub your toe on something. It's not that anyone moved the furniture around on you while you were asleep, it's just that you're not familiar with the surroundings, so you're just a little bit more careful. Same concept there. So it could just be you're not seeing things as clearly as you could, especially with the Seven of Cups there in the near future. But really, it's just saying that you just might have to feel things out a bit, and that's something you guys are comfortable with, obviously, with the moon being your ruler. But like I said, with all that lunar activity, it's just probably letting you know it's going to be a busy month. And the challenge position, we had two cards. We had the Four of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles. So these are actually both Capricorn cards, which is your opposite sign. So even though I was saying that for most of you this is probably career related, it could certainly be about relationships as well. But with these two cards, the Four and then the Three, what it's really saying to me is you might be challenged to open up a bit and put in some work towards building something stable. So it could be relationships, certainly, where maybe you're just feeling guarded right now and don't feel comfortable putting in work towards a relationship. But with this as the challenge or obstacle, moving from the Four to the Three, I think the message there is that you should put in the work. So maybe if you're going through a tough time in a relationship, for example, maybe you're not seeing things as clearly as you normally would, or you feel that there might be some deception going on, I would say open up and try to put in the work. I believe last month your message was speak up for yourself. I can't remember what context that was in, but certainly if it's in relationships and you feel like there might be something going on, then, please speak about it, especially, the sun's in your sign right now. Like I said, you have the new moon solar eclipse, so the energy is certainly be there to back you. I think it'd be in your best interest to do so. And then if this is career related, let's say, maybe you're trying to go into business for yourself, but you're just thinking about, okay, should I invest in going to business for myself or just making investments in general? So this could just be saying you're thinking about what to do with your money. But yeah, I feel with these two cards together, it's saying that if you're thinking about investing in yourself to maybe start your own creative project of some kind, let's say, it seems like you should do that. All right, in the foundation, we have the Emperor card and the Six of Swords. So the Emperor card is the major arcana card for Aries, and then this is an Aquarius card. Actually, we were just saying how there's going to be a full moon eclipse in Aquarius towards the end of July. So this could be saying that maybe you're moving on from an Aries, or maybe an Aries moved on from you if this is relationship related. Aries is your 10th house, so this could be saying that maybe you were changing careers. So maybe you were going from being in business for yourself to now going back into a corporate environment, and I'll say why I feel that could be the case when we get a little bit further into reading. Or it could just be saying that you're just flat out changing careers. Maybe you move from one job to another, or you will be soon. In the past position, we have the Two of Wands and the Nine of Wands. So this is actually another Aries card. This is a Sagittarius card. But with these two cards in the past, it could be saying that maybe you're reluctant to start something new because in the past, maybe you got burned when you were doing that. That's certainly a possibility. Or if this is again going back to saying that you had an Aries that you were dealing with and they left you, you're still feeling guarded because of that. I almost forgot to mention, at the bottom of the deck, you do have the Three of Swords. So it certainly could be saying that you had a relationship in the past that had you feeling this way. But again, I really do feel like this is passing energy. It's not something that's going to happen. I feel that this is something that already happened if it was some kind of heartbreak, especially with the two cards there. So if that's the case, again, with this being your challenge, I feel that if you're struggling to open up, I think you should. I think you should be safe to open up. We'll see as we go along, though. In the present position, we have the King of Cups. So this is actually a Scorpio card usually for me, but it is a water sign. It could obviously be you, especially if you're a male, or it could be someone you're dealing with. If we're looking at the astrological angle there, and I think of Scorpio, we do have Pluto, which is one of the rulers of Scorpio, in your seventh house. So again, this could be talking about relationships in that regard. Mars is another ruler of Scorpio, and Mars is actually going retrograde in your eighth house. So when we get a little further along, I'll say why I think this is the case. But if this is something regarding inheritances, possibly, or maybe you're trying to get approval for some kind of a loan, could feel like things are on hold there. But they should start to move forward soon if that's the case. In the near future position, we have the Seven of Cups. This is technically a Pisces card, but the general theme of this card is you could just be feeling confused. Maybe you have a lot of options in front of you. Maybe you're trying to decide on, let's say, if you're going to go back to school, or maybe because you did just leave a job, you're trying to decide which one to go with next. If it is business you're trying to do for yourself, you could be deciding what route to go as far as that goes, and there's some confusion there. But keep in mind, especially if this is in the near future card, like I said, with all the lunar activity, the moon's going to be very busy. That is your ruler. So try to stay calm if you can. Like we said with the moon there, that could just be saying that you might feel that there's some deception there. You might not be seeing things as clearly, so try to feel it out. Try to pace yourself, and everything should work out. Now, in the position of your influence on the situation, we have the temperance card in reverse. So I'll show you in the upright. This is actually the major arcana card for Sagittarius. So that's your sixth house. So this could be saying that maybe you have health issues, actually, especially if the Three of Swords there. Maybe you have some heart issues. So maybe your challenge is to try to get back into the gym, let's say. Some kind of fitness routine you're trying to start, and maybe you're having some difficulty with that. What else? Let's see. Temperance in reverse, with that being Sagittarius, that is the ninth house. It's not your ninth house, but it's the ruler of the ninth house, Sagittarius. So it could be saying that you're on the fence about going back to school, possibly, maybe because you're waiting for a loan, let's say. That's certainly another possibility there. Or maybe you're going back to the work thing. Maybe you're waiting to hear back on a job that you applied for. But this could just be saying you're feeling a bit out of balance. And like I said, with all the lunar activity, that's certainly the case. It certainly could be the case, rather, that you're feeling a little bit out of sorts. If that's the case, you should just wait for things to die down as the month goes along. Things should start to become clearer as time goes. In the position of the environment, you had two cards here too, and that's the Hierophant and the Nine of Cups. Now, the Hierophant is the major arcana card for Taurus, and the Nine of Cups is technically, again, another Pisces card. It's often referred to as the Wish card. With these two cards together, going back to the angle of maybe you're going back to college, let's say, or you've applied for student loans, something along those lines, or any kind of loan in general. This could be institutions a lot of the times. With the Nine of Cups there, I would say whether you're getting accepted into a school, you should be receiving good news there. If it's regarding a loan, same thing. You should be hearing good news about getting a loan. Especially, like I said, if you're starting a business, for example, maybe because money's tight, you're trying to get a loan to get your, business started. So that could be another angle that it's coming from. If that's the case, with those two cards there, they're both very positive in that regard. So you should hear some good news back there. And again, like we said, with all that lunar activity, Mars going retrograde in your 8th house, that could be a holdup. It could also be inheritances too, so maybe you're waiting to hear about an inheritance. Are you going to get the money or not? If that's the case, that should all start to clear up, especially towards the end of the month. In your hopes or fears position, you have the Three of Cups. So this is actually a Cancer card. It represents 10 to 20 degrees of Cancer. So if you're born, let's say, that first week of July, or even during the first week of July, maybe you'll hear some news regarding this. And that's actually July 12th, I believe, is the actual new moon lunar eclipse or whatever. No, solar eclipse, sorry. So yeah, the solar eclipse happening then within those degrees, that could be when you hear the good news. That could definitely be a new beginning for you, obviously. A new moon partial eclipse, even though it's just partial, that could still mean a new beginning for you with that happening in your first house. And especially if you're born, let's say, around the 12th of July, so from the 8th to the 15th of July, especially, or if you have your sun, moon, or ascendant, let's say from 15 to 25 degrees, then that eclipse could definitely affect you the most, and it should be positive if that's the case. And then in the outcome position, we have the Ten of Wands. So this is a Sagittarius card. Could just be saying that you're trying to take on too much at once, actually. It could be saying that you're trying to work, go to school, and start your own business, possibly. So maybe it's just that you have so much going on that you feel out of sorts because of that. But if that's the case, you certainly want to try to pace yourself a bit. But this does kind of say if that's what's really going on there, you should see results from it in a positive way. Your oracle card is go to distance, so without even reading the message, that kind of goes along with this too, saying that, hey, if you're feeling right now like there's a lot on your plate, you should start to see benefit from that soon. So just keep trying to go forward if you can, but at the same time, pace yourself a bit. All right, so speaking of the oracle card, we'll take a look at what the message for that is. Let me show you the card. It's go the distance, like I said. There's the artwork for it. And then it's number 47, if that has any significance for you. And this is the Wisdom of the Oracle deck by Colette Baron-Reid. So what I usually do with that deck is I just read the messages directly from the book because I think they're really good. They hit multiple angles, and then we'll summarize the reading from there. So it says essential meanings: endurance, strength, the long haul. Just that alone, this is kind of a card regarding endurance. Obviously that is as well. So Hierophant being tradition, that can certainly talk about endurance of sorts as well. It says the Oracle's message. To bring your dream to life, you must think long term and pay no attention to the fluctuations in the current of your experience. Joy and disappointment commingle with opportunities, so there is no need to fear the occasional obstacle. Life is not a sprint. This card is a reminder that you have endurance, strength, and fortitude to carry you all the way. Remain true to yourself. Your authenticity alone will keep you in alignment with the energy of miracles. What is yours will never be withheld from you. Remember that. So again, if this could be referring to, like I was saying last month in your reading, the message was speak up for yourself. So if you're feeling guarded about, you don't want to open up, maybe you don't want to put yourself out there if you are working on something creative. Let's say you wanted to start your own YouTube channel, for example, something along those lines, and maybe you're hesitant to put yourself out there in that way, or a website or something, or an Etsy page, whatever the case may be. That's kind of saying, hey, there's going to be some ebbs and flows with that, but just be authentic about it and put yourself out there. That's the case. All right, and then for those of you who this resonates more in the relationship sense, we'll read that message. It says you either are in or are calling in a harmonious relationship that can stand the test of time. For better or worse, as you ride the ups and downs and even strain, break yourself, and are remade in new growth, you are being redeemed by the power of regeneration. Harmony does not mean there will never be a wrong move played, but that the relationship is marked by endurance and dedication to overall unity. A new song can be written, an instrument can be tuned, and a symphony of love will play on. Listen with your heart. Isn't it magnificent? So, that could also be, again, like we said, you do have Saturn in your opposite sign. That full moon coming up towards the end of June, actually, because like I said, I'm recording this on the 24th of June. That's going to be pretty close to Saturn, so that could be an emotional full moon. So maybe you'll have an argument with the person you're with, if that's the case, something along those lines. I would say if that's the case, just speak up for yourself. It probably should blow over and things should work out, especially with the two cards in the environment position. So let's say maybe you're trying to move it to a higher level of commitment, let's say. Maybe that's what you've been trying to get out there. If that's the case, then you should receive a positive answer from the person if you do address that with them. And if for those of you who this resonates more from a financial standpoint, we'll read the prosperity message. It says your most precious dreams are not about instant gratification, but enduring prosperity. This is a time to think long term and engage in continued action. You will experience momentum building as you translate the ebb and flow into slow and steady movement forward. Your efforts, ideas, and hard work now can lead to greater riches than you can imagine. Stoke the fire so that an uninterrupted stream of energy is available to support you in all the phases of manifestation. Be assured that you are in the right place right now. So that message certainly seems to go on with the Ten of Wands. This is kind of like someone putting in hard work, but as you could see, he might not even be able to see where he's going, right? So, okay, what's the end goal here? And is this even going to get me where I want to go, right? Maybe that's what the person's thinking. With that message there, and with some of these other cards here, I would say yes. If you are working on something, again, if it's getting your own business off the ground, if it's going back to school, let's say, if it's that you started a new job and maybe it feels overwhelming right now, whatever the case may be, it's saying, yeah, the work will be hard, but in the end, it'll be worth it. So keep that in mind. All right. And I might actually put a song in the description for you guys for this month, just a song that might resonate with you. But I can't think of any other messages right now, so we'll wrap up there. Once again, happy birthday, and I'll see you all in August. Bye.